Welcome in to Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am Will Scott, and on today's show, we're going to take a look at the Boston Celtics roster a week after the NBA trade deadline. Go starters, then bench, then go position by position, and kind of evaluate where the Celtics may need to get better. We break down some buyout candidates and some free agent options at the end of today's show, and I'm going to give my thoughts on if the Celtics are the title favorites right now. They didn't make too many moves, obviously, at the deadline. They trade away Vonleh a few weeks ago, and then they get Mike Muscala in that deal for Justin Jackson. You look at some other teams, though, like the Mavs, the Suns. They made some pretty significant moves, but I still do believe the Celtics are the top team in the NBA. But let me know what you think down in the comments section. Are the Celtics the best team in the NBA? They've had the best record in the league pretty much all season long. 1 for yes, 2 for no, down in the comments section. Taking a look at the Celtics starting five, and, Joe Mazzulla's gone with some different lineups, right? But this consistently has been the five for Boston this year. Marcus Smart, Derrick White. White has been somewhat of a pleasant surprise. Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Al Horford. This is as solid as it gets. You have five players that seem to gel really well together, play really well together. Robert Williams not on that because he's only started, I think, 14 games this year. Derrick White has started a lot more, but at the same time, Robert Williams, though, has missed almost half of the year. So it's a really solid starting five. When you compare it to other starting fives around the league, I think it matches up pretty well, even when you're looking at some other top teams in the league. The second unit's also as solid as it gets. You have Malcolm Brogdon, who should win Sixth Man of the Year. Payton Pritchard, we'll see if he gets more involved down the stretch. Grant Williams, he apparently wants a lot of money in free agency. Mike Muscala, who you just traded for last week, he's been fantastic. And Robert Williams III. Williams III starts a lot as well, but he is certainly a come off the bench as well. I really like Robert Williams, man. I really like the player that he's become. Obviously, the injury issues are there, but when he's on the floor, the Celtics are obviously a much better basketball team, especially defensively. Now, should the Celtics start Robert Williams every game? When he's healthy, obviously. Should he be a full-time starter when healthy? Y for yes, in for no, down in the comments section. Go down and let me know what you think. Should the Celtics start Robert Williams every game? Taking a look at the rest of the bench, you got Sam Hauser and Luke Kornet, so those are the 12 guys for the Celtics right now. If you don't include the two-way players, Fiondu Kabengele and J.D. Davidson. Hauser's been pretty solid this year as well as Kornet. So the Celtics bench starters, every single part of this team right now is loaded. They currently occupy the best record in the NBA, at least at the time we're recording this video on Tuesday. It's going out a little bit later in the week. But Jaylen Brown is yet to return from a facial fracture injury. We're still waiting on that. They have one open roster spot after adding Mike Muscala at the NBA trade deadline. So when you look at the Celtics right now, and I understand that, some teams got better at the deadline, I still believe this is the best roster in the NBA. And you add Mike Muscala at the deadline, who has been a fantastic addition for your team, making a bunch of threes a game. Now, again, we're filming this before the Bucks game, so if he goes 0 for 7 against Milwaukee, don't hate me. But overall, I think the Muscala pickup has been really, really good. So go down and grade the Mike Muscala pickup. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comments section. So far for me, it's been an A. I think I gave it a B+ when it went down, but just seeing how he fits on the Celtics team, he is a perfect fit. And shame on me for not talking more about this guy in the days leading up to the deadline. I was looking at Naz Reid. I was looking at some other guys like Jakob Poeltl, but Mike Muscala was cheap, and he is a really good fit right now on the Celtics team. You give up Justin Jackson, who barely played, and you give up 2 second-round picks. Now, taking a look kind of position by position here. So here are the guys that can play the 1 through the 3, right? So Marcus Smart can play the 1 or the 2. He's mainly a point guard. Same goes for Malcolm Brogdon. Jaylen Brown can play the 2 or the 3. Jayson Tatum mainly just the 3, sometimes the 4. Derrick White, Payton Pritchard as well. So I'm looking at this, and I feel like the Celtics could maybe use some more wing depth. We'll talk about that later on, some potential options. But speaking of Jayson Tatum, who you see there on screen, you can go pick up a Jayson Tatum jersey at chatsports.com/Tatum on sale right now. I think he should be the league MVP. I think you would agree. So go pick up the MVP's jersey at chatsports.com/Tatum. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Taking a look at the Celtics big men now after the trade for Mike Muscala. This looks certainly a lot better. You have a lot more depth at the 5. Al Horford, Robert Williams III. He continues to have some injury issues. Grant Williams, Mike Muscala, Luke Kornet, and Blake Griffin. Blake has not played that much. When he has played, he's been a good presence to have on the floor, and he's certainly been a really good locker room presence. I think that's been an underrated part of Griffin's addition earlier this year. Taking a look at the Celtics roster now in graphic form. Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Malcolm Brogdon, Derrick White, Payton Pritchard, Grant Williams, Sam Hauser, and Luke Kornet. I really like this roster. I mean, when you look at it top to bottom, I think you got to feel pretty good as a Celtics fan. These guys stay healthy. That's been a problem for the Celtics right now. Against Milwaukee, you didn't have Jaylen Brown, you didn't have Jayson Tatum, you didn't have some other guys. So when you're healthy, I think this roster's a 10 out of 10. I really do. And I think this is a championship roster. But go down in the comments section and rate the Celtics' current roster by scaling it 1 to 10 down below. How good is the Celtics roster right now? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. I get it. The Suns traded for Kevin Durant. I get it. The Mavericks traded for Kyrie Irving. I get it. The Bucks look really, really good right now. The Sixers look really good. But the Celtics are still the favorites to win the NBA title this year. They have been the best team all year. When they've been healthy, they have been borderline unstoppable. And this is a team that is built for a deep playoff run. They were in the NBA Finals last year, and they are a better basketball team this year. They don't have the Warriors to worry about, probably. They don't have some other teams that maybe they had to worry about last year. Now, the Bucks are tough, like I said, but I think the Celtics are still the favorites to get out of the East. And if they get out of the East, I think they got this wrapped up if they stay healthy. And I understand, again, with the Suns, but I still have a lot of confidence in the Celtics team. But they could still get better. Here are some guys that maybe they could look out as buyout options. Serge Ibaka is someone we've talked about even before the trade deadline. Kevin Love, Bryn Forbes, Dario Saric, and Will Barton. If you did not see our buyout candidates video, I encourage you to go watch that. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Moving on now to some free agent options. Carmelo Anthony, yes, sir. I'm going to be pulling up to his old stomping ground, Syracuse University, this weekend. Excited about that. Stop by the Mello Center, hopefully. Trevor Ariza is another name to look at there. Kent Bazemore, Rodney Hood, Avery Bradley. So 5 notable names that are available right now in free agency. So that is worth noting. But I think the Celtics need a wing. When you look at the current roster situation right now, I mean, Jayson Tatum is really the only guy I look at that I feel, really good about playing the 3, 40 minutes a game or so, right? I think you need somebody behind him to kind of add to the depth there. I think the Celtics need to add a wing. I think they still will add a wing. They do have one open roster spot. Maybe you give a guy like Carmelo Anthony a call, kind of put him at the 3 or the 4. Do you think, though, the Celtics need to add anybody? I mean, they're too good. That's what I said before trade deadline. I didn't know if they were going to make a move or not. Type A for add or type D for don't down in the comment section. Do the Celtics need to add someone before the end, of the season? And subscribe if you are all about the C's, because when Celtics news breaks, you know what we do. We get you guys a video ASAP, and I would not be surprised to see the Celtics maybe add somebody here in the coming days or the coming weeks. So be sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. It's the best way to stay in the loop with C's and with our channel.